Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me today. This is day 4 of my live summer art camp for kids and beginners. Today we are going to be doing a mixed media painting of some butterflies. If you've never done mixed media before, not familiar with the term, it just means a mix of different materials. Let me click off this picture and I'll show you what we're going to be using. So you'll want a large canvas panel or a canvas. I like to use a canvas panel though because it's a little bit more rigid, and since we're going to be gluing some stuff down on it, it won't flex as much as a canvas. So have a few acrylic paint colors. I've got some blues and a little bit of green and some white, and a crayon or a China marker. If you've got one, this kind of works better than the crayon. Pencil, a Sharpie, and some various papers in different colors for our butterflies. And I've decided we're going to do some flowers also today. So you might want some green for your leaves. And then a few little buttons or whatever else that you want to go on it. And we should be good to go. You'll need some scissors. If you're doing this with little ones, I would just put out the paints at first, and then when you get done with that, take those away and put out whatever you're going to use next. And when those are done, take those away and just kind of regulate, have everything organized and ready to go, and then take your supplies away as you use them, and that way they don't get into painting over your papers or any kind of weird things like that. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. I have my son Spencer today manning the
Hello,
chat.
everybody.
He is 14.
I am.
14 going on 24. He's got a couple older brothers, so he's kind of...
Yeah. I got my Dr. Pepper here. What would we do without Dr. Pepper? I don't think I'd be able to function. That and Coke.
Well, it's a bad habit to have, I'm sure.
As you drink.
As I drink my Coke, yeah. Don't know where you got that from. Okay, if you've got a spray bottle, just spritz off your canvas once with your spray water, and that'll help your paint kind of absorb into the canvas as we do this. I'm going to shake this up. I'm going to use different blues for the background. I'm kind of going to do a sky with a few flowers and a few butterflies kind of flitting around in the sky. So I'm going to put out just a few different colors of blue. Use whatever you have. If you don't have different colors, you can pre-mix a few, or you could just use a little bit of white with the darker blue and let that mush together to make these lighter colors. Whatever you want. The nice thing about these mixed media is you can kind of let your kids choose whatever colors they want. They're still all doing the same thing, but they can personalize it that way, and it kind of makes it more fun for them, I think. So I'm going to start with my lighter colors. I'm going to need more down here. I forgot. I'm going to go ahead and put the blue all the way down, and then I'm going to scrape my grass up into it. So I want my lighter blue at the bottom of my canvas. I'm going to put mostly light blue down here. I've just got a sponge brush. These are great for kids' projects because they can't really mess them up, and if they do, you can just replace them really easily. They're very inexpensive, easy to use. Don't put too much water in them, and I also tell my kids when we're using these brushes, do not dip them into your water jar to clean them afterwards. Once you're done with them, I collect all the brushes and take them to the sink, because if they try to clean them out in their little water jars, it will make a mess everywhere. Trust me, I've been there, done that many times. So I usually have a helper, one of my students, who gets done first, because there's always one who's kind of in a race to finish or just as faster than others. I have them collect all the brushes, the dirty brushes, and take them to the sink as people are finished with them. And that way, that gives them something to do to make them feel like they're being useful and not just sitting around waiting for their friends to finish. Okay, that looks good. I just kind of did a wispy sort of back and forth. It didn't overblend it, just kind of trying to add a little color on there. I need to cover that up. My canvas had a little dirty spot on it for some reason. So just kind of want it to look sort of like a windy day like that. I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to grab a little bit of green and a credit card. A little gift card. If you don't have enough of these for, like if you're doing this with a class, you could cut up your credit card into small pieces and give them each a piece. Don't need a whole lot. I'm going to go ahead and just put a few little dots of paint on my canvas along the bottom here. Not a lot of green, just a little tiny bit will do us. And I'm going to take my credit card and smush it into that paint. Kind of scrape it up. Might need a little bit more paint, we'll see. And then I'm going to start scratching through it with the edge, making all these like grass things happen. Do some taller than others. The kids love this. It's so much fun. I might put a little bit more paint out. If you have two colors of green, I don't have mine out here today, but if you have two colors of green, it might be good to have two different colors going here. Give it a little bit more depth. So just dab that on and scrape it up. Yeah, I want some of them to go nice and tall. Scrape through it. Make all these grassy things happen. Just using the edge of it and just scraping right through it. Gosh, I love using these credit cards for these kind of things. It's so much fun. The kids love using these unusual materials because they're like, hey, I could do that at home. I don't need a brush. Just grab my credit card, just my mom's credit card out of her purse.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Nothing like, wrong there.
Wouldn't recommend that. Okay, I think that's good enough. That's fine. We're going to keep our flowers kind of down low here, and then we're going to put our scratch through this one a little bit more. Don't want it too solid. We're going to put our butterflies up kind of tall, and we'll have a few little flowers down low. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. It's actually drying pretty quick. But I'm going to set that aside if I can find a place to put it. And there we go. Grab my papers. And I'm going to wipe up my area here because I've got some green paint on it. Be sure you cover your work surface with something because this project especially is pretty messy. Oh wait, I forgot my other things on there. What am I doing? I forgot to put my clouds. Uh-oh. Okay, so grab yourself some bubble wrap. We're not done with this yet. I'm sorry. Forgot about my second part here. Grab your bubble wrap and some white paint. Set it on a little plate or something. I'm just going to put it on my work surface here since I don't have a plate handy. And use the bubble side up, and be sure not to hand this to them before class or they'll be doing this the whole time and not listening to a thing you say. You don't want the bubbles to be popped. You can let them pop them afterwards, after class if they get bored maybe. But for this, you want your bubbles nice and rounded, so you don't want to pop them yet. Okay, I'm just going to put a few little random brush strokes. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of imagine some cloud shapes maybe. Paint those in on there. Ooh, okay, let me pull this back down here. All right, and carefully, and sometimes I help the kids with this, but a lot of times if you give them small enough pieces, this is quite a large piece. I might use like about a quarter of what I have here if I was going to let the kids do it themselves. Just set it down and gently rub it. Don't smush it side to side or rub it anywhere else. Just kind of gently press it down. Ooh, there we go. Yay. got some clouds. I'm going to go ahead and put a few more over here with what's left on my thing here. Just use up some of the last little bits of paint. Some of them going off the edge of the canvas. And some of them down in between my grass down here. Okay, that's good. Now I've got, if you don't have these, it's fine. This is just like a, I got this at the dollar store, like a 3-pack for $1. And they're like little trivets, hot plate trivets. And they work great for this. So I'm going to use some of my, let's grab some pink. Why not? Put out a little bit of pink. Maybe mix that with my white. I'm going to put out just a little bit of this color in here. Just here and there. Ooh, that's pretty. Just for something extra special going on in the sky. This is really fun. I love doing these impression things. The kids love it too. Just to give it a little bit extra something special. And then if you have one of these, this is one of those shelf liner things. They come in big long rolls, and I just cut off pieces and use these with my kids. I'm going to do, let me do some more of that lighter blue that we had in the sky. I'm using lighter colors for this because I don't want to overwhelm my color scheme here. So I'm going to use some of this and lay some of that pattern in. Okay, that's good. Hope you can see that. Spencer, anybody in chat today?
Yep. So far, Tara Evans is here. She says,
Tara?
"Hi, Angela and Spencer. I'm really enjoying this week."
Awesome. This has been really fun. I love doing kids projects, and I don't usually take time to do them on my channel, so this is kind of a new thing that we were trying. I know some kids are still in school, so we're a little bit early on the summer projects.
This is all being recorded, though, so in the middle of the summer they can come back and watch it.
Exactly. Once they're out of school and everything, that's the idea. Get it out there early. So, boy, those art camps are so expensive too. I mean, when I did these classes, I charged at least $100 for the full week of classes. So.
Deanna Turney says, "Hello, everybody."
Hello. All right, I'm going to wipe that off. Now I'm going to set it aside. For real this time. I'm done. We'll let that all dry. And we'll cut out some butterflies. What I did was pre-cut some because I didn't want you to have to sit there and watch me cut out, 12 butterflies. I decided my bigger ones I think are going to be too big. So I'm going to draw out some smaller butterflies, but I'm going to show you how to draw all of these different shaped ones. There's 6 different shapes, I guess, there. And I'm going to trace it onto cardstock. And I usually do this ahead of time and make some, these are my leaves here. I'm just going to set those aside for now. I usually make these templates ahead of time for the kids, unless you're wanting them to draw their own, which is totally fun. It just takes a little bit longer for them to complete the project. And some kids don't want to do that. So what I usually do is just provide the templates for those who want them, and then those who don't can draw their own. So, but the cardstock helps when they're tracing. It's just a little bit more firm, easier for them to manipulate. Okay, so I think I want to do my butterflies about this size, probably no bigger than this one. So that one's probably about 5 inches across. So let's say about 4 inches. We can probably fit 3 butterflies across a page here. And for the first one, I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to start with a line like this, and then I'm going to do a large shape like that. It's kind of straight up, curved over, almost straight down, curved again, and then straight back to the start. And that's for like these blue morpho butterflies and things have this shape. I'm only going to trace one side of it because we're going to split the paper, but I'm going to mark kind of where I want that one to go, just so I don't draw over that section there. That's give me plenty of room to cut that out. All right, so now I'm going to do this one here. Let's do him this size too. Start with your center point. I'm going to do two kind of leaf shapes where it curves up and over to a point and then curves back down around almost to the middle part, not quite all the way there. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom, angling it down. Two little kind of leaf shapes. Okay. Like that. All right, then I'm going to squeeze one small one in here. This one is going to take up all of this room here. I'm going to squeeze one of these little ones in. They've got these little bird wing butterflies that have these long wings that come straight out to the sides. Whoops, I'm not supposed to do that side. Oh well. And then they have these little shorter rounded wings that come out at the bottom. Okay. Then we'll do, of course, kids are going to have their own ideas for doing butterflies. I was blown away when my kids' class, I've done painted butterflies with them a couple of times, and here I'm going to do like a little rounded, almost oval shape on both sides. And those kids, I showed them how to draw the butterflies out, and they did some amazing butterflies. They were so much fun. I just loved what they came up with. So, you know, I try not to, as a teacher, get too much of a preconceived notion about what theirs should look like, and let them just kind of explore it and have fun with it and come up with, because a lot of times their idea of a butterfly is going to be 10 times better than what my butterfly idea is. Trust me. Okay, so a couple more different shapes. This one's pretty similar to this, only it's a little bit smaller. So once you get all of your butterflies, and I think you probably want about 5 butterflies. That'll probably be plenty for this project. You're going to take your paper, and probably be best if you cut out your squares first. Take it and fold it along your midline. And Mom, you might want to do this part because it's a little bit difficult to cut through this cardstock sometimes. It can be a little bit stiff. You don't want them to cut themselves. Okay, so there you go. You're going to do that for each one of your butterflies. Let me do this one because I don't have this shape on my butterflies, and I'll go ahead and show you how to trace it too. It's really easy. This way our butterflies will be the same on both sides. They will match. And you could even get really fancy if you wanted to and cut. I'll show you in a minute, but you could cut your butterflies in half so that half of it is one color and half of it is another color. Okay, so there you go. Just make sure that your point there in the middle is short enough, because you don't want your body to be extra long. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out for my flowers and my leaves too. You can cut out some templates as well. For my flowers, I'm just going to do big round circles in different sizes so that they can stack them together. Now, this is totally up to you, and they can even just draw it on their paper if they want to, because the circles are not too hard to draw. Go ahead and cut these out while I've got it out. How you doing, Spence?
Mr. Victor Crafter says, hello, Angela. Cool butterflies you made.
Hello. What?
Cool butterflies that you made.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. Move all of this. Now I'm going to grab, I don't want to lose these, so I want to set these where they're not going to get mixed up in my other papers because I'm about to make a mess here. So I've got all these different, I know you probably would have thrown away this piece of paper when it got cut, but for some reason I cannot seem to throw away all of these pretty papers. So I have bags and bags of little scraps like this. It's a problem, and I'm seeking therapy for it.
The hoarders show, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a paper hoarder, paper scrap hoarders, anonymous. So yeah, my dirty confession there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, and usually I would not trace on top of my paper. I would trace it on the back side so that you don't see your pencil lines. But in this case, I want my butterflies and everything to have a little bit of a black outline. Can you see that? So I'm going to go ahead and trace right on top of my colored paper. And I'm going to go ahead and trace out some flowers. Since I already have a few butterflies, I'll probably trace out one more butterfly maybe. But so I end up with a circle like that, and I'm going to grab my scissors wherever I put them there, and I'm going to cut out on the outside of that line so you can still see that black, or you can have your kids cut right on top of it if you want, but just right outside of it so they can still, you can still see that black. And I use the China marker here. Any kind of waxy marker or waxy pencil will work. Even pastel pencil will work. Pastels and charcoal will smudge a little bit, so just make sure you smudge them out really well before you do your Mod Podge step if you use those. But if you're using like a waxy pencil like the China marker is just basically a glorified crayon, but it's a little bit easier to use sometimes, and it's a little bit more, I don't know, it seems like it's more concentrated than a regular crayon. But if you don't have one, that's fine. Just use a crayon. That'll work just fine. So I'm going to set that aside and grab another color. Now when I'm doing my layers for my flowers, I'm just wanting to pick colors that will look good one on top of another. Let me see if that'll fit. I think it will. Let's circle around that. Spencer, did you do this project when we did you do the flowers one when I did one in my class?
I think so. I did the one with the paper background and like the photos they took of us that was like, dotted.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you have it
Yeah.
you have it up.
Yeah, my studio. I know I need to hang up all of your kids' art that I need to find a place to put it. I have all of those things that you did with me in class, and I have some of them up, but I don't have all of them up. I need to find them and put them up. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple little circles, and then, whoop, sorry, camera wiggle. And then I'm going to grab my buttons and see, I don't know what color I want, maybe just do black. I could do pink. Have a few buttons. Once I get my butterflies up, I'll decide on my colors. And let me do 2 or 3 more. And one of the other things that I was going to tell you about prepping for this, if you're doing this with little ones, is it's really helpful if you pre-cut your paper into smaller pieces, unless you're using a paper pack that comes in small sizes like some of these do. These are great because they come in coordinated colors, so you know that they're all going to match, and they're already pre-cut into smaller pieces, so there's not a lot of paper waste. Because if you use a large, give them a large 12 by 12, every time they will take it and do this. They'll stick their butterfly right in the middle, they'll trace it out, and then you'll have this huge wasted space. So pre-cut your little pieces, give them this size piece instead of this size piece, And then you won't have as much wasted paper, and you've got, because these papers can be expensive, and you can save those and use those for another project, and you won't turn into a paper hoarder like I am.
Aminda Martinez says, my daughter and I have been really enjoying this live summer art camp this week. Thank you for doing this.
Awesome. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad you're enjoying it and doing this with me. That means a lot to me. This is so different from my normal content on my channel. I really wasn't sure if people would like it or not, so I'm really glad to hear good feedback about it. That makes a difference to me. I'd really like to do another series. I've got all kinds of different projects that I've done over the years with my kids' classes, and now that I'm not doing my summer classes anymore here locally, um, I'd really like to do some more of these on YouTube if people want to see them. Maybe do another live series this summer sometime. Okay, I like this paper. Isn't that pretty? These colored papers are so gorgeous. They come in so many neat. I have way too many of them, and almost bought some more the other day. I resisted because I was like, I think I need some new papers for my butterflies. I think I really should just get a new pack of papers that all coordinate, and then I can show people how to use it. And like, I was rationalizing that I needed more paper. Like, obviously I don't need more paper. I have stacks. I have a whole bin, like one of those big filing cabinet bins full of colored paper. And another one, huge tote stacked full of papers. I don't need more paper. So I was like, I resisted the temptation. It was really, really hard.
Where are you getting all these papers? Like, where can you buy them?
Um, you can get them online. I have some links down, and I found a really cute one. That's the one I almost bought. Down in the links to this video, down in the description, there's a link on Amazon. And then you can also buy them locally at your local craft and hobby store. Pretty much, I think even Walmart's carry them too now. So they're everywhere. Scrapbooking's been big for several years now, so there's tons of paper choices. Too many choices. Too many pretty papers out there. So, and if you're doing this with the boys, I just, if they're like, I don't like butterflies, I just tell them that they're doing it for their mom, that their moms were going to like it. So, because I have had some boys in my classes. Of course, a lot of my kids' classes were girls, so I used it as an opportunity to do all these fun girly things. Since I have 3 boys in my house, I didn't get to do the girly projects with my boys, so.
We wouldn't
What?
let her do the girly projects.
No, they didn't want to do flowers and butterflies. So I used it as my classes as an opportunity to get my girly stuff on and do. We did hair bows. We did all kinds of stuff.
I remember after school, I'd have to go to your classes. Like, we couldn't just drive home. I would have to go to your classes for free. You remember
that? Yes. Poor Spencer would be in a room full of 12 girls.
I'd be the one in the corner just doing some homework because I had like nothing else to do.
I know. He's like, I refuse to do another flower project. Yeah, he was a good sport. I lost him when he got to be about, I don't know, how old were you? We were about 11 or 12 when you kind of started putting your foot down and going, Mom, I really don't want to do these projects. Can I just do my homework?
Yeah, and we started to, so that helped, I guess.
And you
started
what?
to carpool, so.
Yeah, it was a sad day for me, I have to say. I was a little hurt. Like, that's all right. To each his own. Spencer is just not into girl crafts. I don't know what the deal is.
It's so crazy. I mean,
I know.
wouldn't you be interested into like boy crafts, like with like skulls and all that?
Motorbikes and
I feel like you need to do a couple projects. Get some like more experience in that field.
I probably do need some more experience doing boy projects. That's probably not a lie.
I could get you started if you want. I mean,
come up with some ideas. I really need to do a Minecraft one.
Ooh, Minecraft fun.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, that'd actually be pretty fun.
No, I have to
I'd
think
be
about it. I
interested in
don't know.
that. I'm not gonna lie.
Spencer has done some really cool Minecraft
Oh yeah.
costumes. He made for Halloween.
I
What
think
year
I
was
was
that?
like in 6th grade. I yeah,
Yeah.
6th grade. I made a giant Minecraft diamond sword out of cardboard, and I also made a Steve helmet, which is the main character, completely out of cardboard. But I didn't wear it that year because it was like gonna rain. I'm pretty sure that night. Uh,
Oh yeah, you didn't end up getting to wear it to
yeah.
school.
I also I
You're
also
a little bit
oh
loud.
sorry. I also did made some Minecraft Lego things. Here, hold on a second.
Oh, okay. You're gonna show me your Legos? I'm gonna.
These are made
Ooh, look at
these are made
that.
out of Legos and all that. I have tons and tons more in my room. I was really into
You should do
Legos
some
growing
videos
up.
of how to do that, Spencer.
I might.
Yeah, that would be totally cool. I think we need to do some mommy and me, mommy and me crafts with Spencer and mom, and you can do your Minecraft Lego stuff, and I'll try to keep up.
I have an entire drawer that's just like dedicated to all those random Minecraft items I made out of Legos.
Okay, well that would be perfect. I think people would love
Oh yeah.
that.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm bragging a little bit, but
No, no, you're not bragging. That's awesome. Okay, I'm doing a few more flowers here. Sorry, just need about do at least 3 flowers. So I'm just trying to find papers that I can use with my flowers. Let me do some yellow. Do a big yellow one. I'm not tracing this out, so but you can trace it out onto your paper. Actually, I probably should have because I'm not going to have my outline. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to outline all of these. So you get the idea. This can take a whole afternoon, so you could probably do the painting part separate and do this part on another day. You could probably stretch this out into a several day project if you wanted to. There's lots of different options. So there, I'll do one big one that's got 3 layers there. Let's do a really quick outline of this one. I need to remember to outline my flowers before I cut them on the next one. Now Spencer's got the crafty thing going on. He definitely, it just comes out in different ways. He doesn't like to paint. He likes to like create stuff. It's just
I have to
another
be in the
side
mood.
of it.
Really, I can't just be like, you know what? I feel like doing that. I just have to be in the mood.
Yeah, that's normal, I think. Let me use this paper. I really like this. If you've got an old book, you can use old book paper. I've done that with some of my kids' classes. How are we doing on chat?
Nobody's really been chatting that much, too terribly much.
What kind of projects do you guys want to see? That's a good question because I'm always wondering, do you want to see more of these kids projects? You want to see more of the beginner art projects for adults? More complicated projects? Probably the people who are watching this are going to be into the kids projects though. So
Oh, Scooter's stepping on the cords and all that.
uh-oh. All the animals want to get involved with all the fun we're doing. They're like, what is going on? You can do is take your paper and say, okay, I want another circle around that one. These circle flowers are really fun. They turn out really cute. All right, I'm about done with this. And I know our background's done. So we can start gluing all this stuff down. And the gluing doesn't take very long. It's just all this cutting that takes a little bit of time and patience. It's definitely worth it. And you can go crazy and do several different flowers if you want. I'm just gonna do those ones for now. I might come back and cut some more later if we decide we need them. Okay, I'm gonna grab my canvas. Good. All right. When I do the Mod Podge with my kids' classes, I like to use these little, I don't know, just any kind of closable lid container. And that way the Mod Podge doesn't go to waste, and I can put out little bits of it in each jar. Oh, of course, I should have opened this yesterday. It's not wanting to come open. Spencer, I may have to have you. It's glued shut.
Oh, I don't know if I'll be much help. Here, let me try.
Not opening. See if it's strong enough. I know it's glued shut. It's seriously glued shut.
Got it.
I guess I should have. Oh, thank you so much. My hero. Okay, I guess I got glue around the rim of my. Too much glue. Oops. Okay. Put out a little bit. You don't need a whole
Now my
lot.
hand hurts.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
I mean, it's nice to show off my strength every once in a while.
I know.
Yeah.
You're the man. Okay, let's grab this up. We're going to put it on our flowers first. Now let's go ahead and I usually have the kids place everything ahead of time just to kind of see where I want to put things. So probably want more flowers in this, but we'll see once we get our butterflies up there, we may decide.
Tara Evans says we want to see Spencer do it.
You want to see Spencer do some? I want to see it too. I think that would be awesome.
Maybe one day.
We'll do a whole series of Spencer and Mom Lego creation.
It's actually a lot easier than it looks.
Did you find it from a video, or did you come
Oh,
up
I
with it
just
on
came
your
up
own?
with a process of my own.
Oh, then definitely that's a.
I mean, since Minecraft is like a pixelated game, you just have to
Right,
find like those small little studded Lego things that are just like one by one. I'm pretty sure,
right.
and you just put them together on like a template, using like reference photos, and you just kind of like just put the pieces
Oh,
on
okay.
one baseboard so you can move it around. You know. Could,
Okay, we're definitely going to have to do a video. We'll do that in a few weeks, maybe sometime in July, because I wanted to do another series of these in July
all
sometime.
right.
So that'll be
Not
perfect.
very good.
We'll do a whole
Not
set.
very good at teaching, but I'll try.
Well, I'll help you. I'll help you with the teaching part, and you can do the demonstrating.
Okay.
You explain it to me, and we can do it. We can do it. I think it'll be fun.
Do you have links on how to make child-safe paints?
Oh, I don't. I don't know. I mean, most acrylic paints say they're non-toxic, but I wouldn't eat them. um, but yeah, they are. I mean, I know you might try Crayola. Crayola has got all kinds of great paints for kids, and you could do this with tempera paints, probably. I would probably use a spray sealer because tempera paints don't react well with water, and we're going to be, acrylics once they dry, they're stuck, but tempera stay a little bit more fluid, I think. So if you were doing this on paper, you could use tempera, and then it wouldn't be a problem because you could just glue everything down uh, afterwards.
Aminda Martinez says, like you said, any Minecraft projects or Pokemon would be really interesting. Even the girls
Oh,
in
Pokemon.
my church really enjoy Minecraft and Pokemon, so I'm sure you'd have girl followers as well.
Oh, for sure. Minecraft is one of those games that when Spencer started playing it, I was like, really? I just didn't get it at all. I still kind of don't, but he loves it,
it's
and
it's
his
like
friends
such a
love it.
basic it's a basic game that's like makes it so crazy like
I mean, even my older boys loved it. His older brothers that are in their 20s are like, were, they were just building whole
they still do
cities
it. Yeah,
together.
they still do it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. They get together with their friends and get online at the same time
Yeah.
and go and build whole huge castles and
It's just
stuff.
one of
It's
those
just
things you
awesome.
have to try to understand. Like it's hard to
I guess
explain.
so. Yeah. Okay, I have cleaned out my thing here. Now I'm going to start placing my butterflies around. And got different little ones. This is where you can see that the little butterflies are probably a little bit better than these big, huge manga ones. Put a couple of the big ones in there, but it's really not going to be a lot of room for them. Okay, whoops. I got my thing too high up. Sorry. So let me know if I'm off camera there, Spencer.
Well, there's lag time, so I didn't know.
No, no, that's okay. Just
Sorry.
no problem. Okay, that's good. I think we got a couple down in the grass, flitting around. And I've left room for my stem of my flower. And I'm going to go ahead and draw that in on my paper here. I'm just going to draw in a little black stem. That way I'll know where to glue my leaves and everything. Go ahead and put that all the way down. There we go. So I'll glue my leaves on there, there. I use different colors of green papers for my leaves and my simple little flowers, and then we'll glue the buttons on afterwards. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and draw the center of my two butterflies here with my Sharpie. I already did it on the other ones. And we'll also add a little bit more with the Sharpie onto the canvas once this is all glued down and dried. So I'm just going to start one at a time. Start at the top here, lift up my butterfly and put down some nice thick coat of Mod Podge. You want to make sure you get a lot of glue underneath. And then once you get it down there, it's going to be a little bit opaque. It's kind of white when it first goes on, so that's normal. I'm going to go ahead and do this whole area here. You could try doing it on the back of the paper. I just find that it's easier to just kind of do it onto the canvas. A little bit thicker than you think you might need, and that way you've got plenty of room to smush it around and position it the way you want it. And then just smooth out over the top. We're going to smooth out over the entire thing once we get all of our butterflies down, but I'm just going to do them one at a time right now. And if you get little spots where it's sticking up later, you can go back in and get a little bit of glue and kind of smush it down underneath there and press it back down. I think I might do this one kind of like do this one like this up here, and then do this one like he's half of sitting on that flower. So I'm going to cut this one in half and put him on like that. Oops. Okay, now it's just a matter of positioning these. With your flowers, you're going to want to make sure that you Do each layer nice and thick. The paper can start to buckle, so work quickly and don't blend over and over and over again on it, because then it kind of starts to stretch the paper a little bit. Just kind of barely get the glue down there and move on. If you do it nice and thick, just keep on working. The littlest ones, you might need to just put your glue down for them and then let them place their butterflies over the top if they're having a trouble connect. A lot of times the little ones, I've noticed, will have not put enough of the Mod Podge down. You really kind of you don't want to be stingy with it. Otherwise, oops, brushing away all my leaves. There we go. So mixed media is basically any kind of different combination of materials. It's not just paints, paint and paper, paint with markers, paint with stamps, or anything like that. Once it starts to dry, so like on these ones, I don't want to touch those right now because they're starting to go clear, and I can tell that they're starting to dry, and once they do that, they become really kind of sticky. In the meantime, you don't want to go back over them with your brush right now, or else you might tear the paper. You don't want to do that. We've done it all in my class. We've done all the mistakes. Over, I don't know how many years I taught kids classes. It's probably been 20 years maybe.
Anything you learn.
Yeah, I learned all of the do not do's.
Marcy Scott says, my daughter got a bunch of owl scrapbook items. This would be cute to use them with.
Absolutely, yeah. Really cute. That was that paper that I was looking at. I think it had owls on it, and I was like, I don't have any owl paper. I need some owl paper. It is tempting, I swear. It really is like an addiction, almost. Once you start with these papers, you can't just stop with. And I'm going to turn this so that the words are readable. Just keep on dipping into my, barely touching it over the top, so I don't want to smear those papers. If you press too hard, your papers will move. So when I'm doing my top coat, I'm just barely skimming it on top of the paper. Very gentle pressure. See how that crayon, that wax pencil China marker really sticks to the paper and it doesn't smudge. If you were to use charcoal or something like that, I have used charcoal pencils, but they do pick up, well, they mix with the Mod Podge, and so you end up with like gray Mod Podge. So just be aware of that. If you're going to use a charcoal pencil, it actually looks really cool with charcoal, and it's like a more of a smudgy, dreamy kind of look, but you will want to smudge it out really well with a paper towel before you put your Mod Podge on, because that way it won't dye your Mod Podge gray. Try to keep one hand dry. That's that's important. You can move your pieces around here. We're almost done. This is pretty quick.
It's looking great.
I know, isn't it fun? Just love this.
Like so simple, but it's like neat.
Yeah, cheerful. Yeah. It needed the flowers. I had it originally just with the butterflies, but it really needed these flowers to make it. You know, butterflies gotta have a reason
icing
to
on
be.
the cake. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go through here and make sure that I've got all my areas covered with the Mod Podge, because this Mod Podge that I'm using is a gloss Mod Podge, so it's a little bit shiny. I'm just going to go through here and make sure I have it covered over the entire canvas. That will seal your paint too. So it's a good sealer, glue, all-purpose product. Decoupage is the Deco Arts brand, and I've used it also, and it also works great. So just to mention that. Now, I've got a couple bubbled areas, but I think I can press it down a little bit. That's pretty normal. If your paint, your paper can buckle a little bit, and that's normal. Don't try to touch it while it's sticky, because it'll tear off on your fingers. I've done that too. So just resist the urge to kind of press down your little bubbles. And once it's dry completely, those pages kind of even out a little bit. And if you still have a little bit of that, you can put a little bit more glue down to kind of help press them back down. Okay, I'm going to take my buttons now. And I'm going to put on a few buttons. Let me see. Do I want yellow? I kind of feel like I want black. But I might do different colors. Purple's cute on that one. Yeah, let's do the purple there. Blue. Oh no, just sit. Let me see. That's cute.
Yeah, the buttons are really nice.
Really cute. Spencer, you do a really good job of seeming interested in this craft. Like, in what lifetime did you think you would ever say the sentence, yeah, those buttons look really nice?
It's just practice, you know?
You are a good son for doing this with me. And we just are hoping that none of your friends from school are watching, because you would never hear the end of it.
You're not wrong there.
Not wrong there, no. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do blue. So decisions. What color buttons? So hard to choose.
Harder than resisting the papers, you know.
I know, it is. I have whole things of buttons. Okay, you could also use the buttons on your butterflies if you want to get really cute. You could take matching buttons and put them on your butterflies. Wouldn't that be cute?
Ooh.
I'll go ahead and do that on a couple of them. This glue is one of my favorites for these kind of crafting projects. It's a little bit pricey, but it really sticks well. It's better than like Elmer school glue. Will not hold your buttons on permanently. They will pop off after a few months, and you don't want that to happen. So I would invest in a good glue. This stuff is pretty heavy duty, and it's safe to use with the kids. Not a commercial endorsement. I've just found that this one's good. You could also use a hot glue gun too. Of course, that's always
It's always an option.
an
Yeah.
option. Yep. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave off the buttons. I think that that's good. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. It's okay. Guess I could do something on that one. I also have, if you happen to have rhinestones, rhinestones are a fun option. You could add a rhinestone. Of course, this is a girly in me coming out, you know. You got to bling it up. So you could bling up your butterflies with some rhinestones, or you could grab some of these. They have a whole packs of these like confetti type shapes, and you could use those on your butterflies to give it some bling. You could use glitter glue. You could use just glue and then sprinkle your glitter on. You could do all kinds of different things with these. There's any number of extra embellishing that can be accomplished. If you're doing this on paper, let's mention that I like to use this permanent bond glue sticks with the kids. It works really great, and they can stick it on the back and then do this. You could do this whole project on a large, like grab yourself a large 12 by 12 paper cardstock. There are even ones that are a little bit thicker than this, and let them put. You probably want one with a blue design or something like that. I don't have one handy right now, but um, when I did my example here, I did some of the stamping with the bubble wrap on right onto there. And then I used a white crayon and did scribbles for my clouds. I found that this paper was a little bit dark. I liked it because it was kind of shiny. I thought it'd be fun, but it was a little bit dark. So I might use like a little bit lighter blue paper, but you get the idea. So this can totally be done on paper and not on the canvas panel. And that's a lot more like economical version if you're doing this with a large group of kids for like vacation Bible school or something like that. This would work great. Okay, so these are just about dry. I think it's dry enough to go ahead and use my Sharpie. Just have to make sure that your paper is dry. That's why I did my bodies of my butterflies first, because you really don't want to draw on top of this paper. Once it's stuck down there, it probably takes about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours for the paper to dry underneath. Even though the glue is dry on top, the paper is still saturated and it's wet, and so it will tear if you try to draw over the top of it. That's why I did all my outlining first and then glued it down, because I didn't want the paper to tear. That has happened to me, and it's not a fun thing once you do all this work and then you go to draw over the top and it tears. So I am going to put in some little curly cues on my butterflies with a Sharpie marker, and you want a permanent marker because, oh, well, it's permanent. And if you ever did do like a varnish over the top again or anything like that, it wouldn't smear. My Sharpie is not cooperating here. Let me see if I can find another one that's not dying. My Sharpie, there, that one seems to be a little bit better. There we go. Just doing little curly cues for each. I'm trying not to touch my canvas too much because it is still wet. But I want my little, you can do little dots too on the end. I think the butterflies have the little dots and the moths don't, because I had somebody, when I did a sunset moth video, and it was just a demonstration video. It was like time lapse. It was one that I did for my gallery piece, and the picture that I used had the butterfly antenna, or it's actually a moth, not a butterfly. Get it right, Angela. Because I had somebody comment that the antenna were wrong, that it wasn't the antenna when I painted it. The picture, I think, was from a dead moth, unfortunately, and its antenna were curled like that a little bit on the end, and it looked like it had like a little dot on the end. But apparently moths don't have the little dot on the end of their antenna like butterflies do, because this person made sure that I knew that that was incorrect. I was like, really?
You should be ashamed.
Okay. I know. It's like, you call yourself a moth lover. So yeah, that happened. I had somebody tell me my cherry tree painting was not accurate because she had cherry trees in her yard as a kid, and she knows what they're supposed to look like. So, there's just people who have opinions about this stuff. So I try not to let it get to me. I'm like, really kind of miss the whole point. It's a free video. It's not like I'm charging you for this. You don't have to watch it. It's okay. It's not gonna, I don't know. It's just funny. things that people get all up in arms about. Okay, so then I can go back in. I think I want to, I feel like I need another antenna for this guy, but I'm not sure where to put it. I think I'll do it up here, go in this direction. My Sharpie is not wanting to draw on this. The glue is interfering right now. Once it's dry, you can kind of do this later if you need to, because this glue that's just kind of still fresh, not completely dry, it's kind of interfering with my marker here. Okay, you could do little dots if you wanted to make it look like, you know, they're kind of flying and you've got little, I'm going to go ahead and do that on a couple of them. Just kind of like a little flight path, like he's just kind of going around like this. You see that? Let's do it on a couple more of these. Not a lot of them, just a few where you want a little extra detail. However you want to do it. So I think we are about done. Isn't that fun? Be sure you initial the corner. Write your name and date on the back. I really appreciate y'all joining me today for this live show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Took us a full hour. Wow. But that's a pretty good amount of time. I usually had about an hour and a half to do this with my kids in my class, so that's about right. So join me tomorrow. We're going to be doing one of my favorite projects that I've ever done with my kids, and it is the silly giraffes. So have your canvas ready and your paints and pretty much any stencil materials, any stamping materials, pens, Sharpies, and this is where oil pastels would be nice. If you have any oil pastels, those would be great. So we'll be here again tomorrow at noon for my silly giraffe painting. Thanks so much for joining me for the butterflies. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Spencer.